lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan, and with me today, I have another awesome indie cartoonist with me to chat comics, talk about her stuff. Corinne Halbert is with me. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, it's funny, the way I even discovered your stuff was Jim Rugg posted your Acid Nun book.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, I'm a huge Jim Rugg fan, cartoonist, character, all that stuff. And I saw it, and then I think I reached out to you pretty much immediately afterwards. Everybody discovers people differently, but for anybody that doesn't know your stuff, isn't familiar with you, if you could just share a little bit about yourself, how you started in comics as a fan and turned that into something where you wanted to do this, professionally.
So I've been doing art since I was like 3 years old, always drawing very avidly, just very passionate about it. It's always been painting and drawing has been my passion since childhood. And, in high school, started to take it more seriously, set my sights on art school. I did go to Massachusetts College of Art for my undergrad. And I was actually a film major because I've always had a deep interest in movies, film, especially the weirdo stuff. And I went on to get my MFA at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago in painting and drawing I got my MFA in 2008. So I dabbled in comics, in my teenage years, but I really started to get into them more like in my late 20s. Reading Charles Burns' Black Hole was a very transformative experience for me. He's basically one of my top 3 favorite artists. That's one of my favorite graphic novels. And, people, because of my drawing style, it has always been very imaginative and, line work driven, a lot of it. People had been saying to me for years, you should make comics. But it wasn't something that sparked until I read Black Hole. And then, I started doing my comic Hate Baby in 2009. And I did 6 issues, all self-published. I've self-published probably, I don't even know, 25 to 30, zines, comics, various publications. So yeah, I've done quite a bit of self-publishing, and I've in the past few years I've begun to be included in some anthologies, and I'm actually Acid Nun is going to be my first graphic novel. I'm going to release a number of single issues, and then it'll be collected into my first graphic novel. I'm working with a publisher. Until I get like a contract signed and all that stuff, I'm not really talking about it a whole lot, but yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I mean, I want to check out the rest of your stuff. I really dug the book. I didn't know you had been doing stuff that long. Like literally, I literally saw the book. I'm like, fuck, that looks dope. And
thanks.
The research didn't go much further than reaching directly out to you,
Makes sense. We're all busy.
Yeah. So you talk about Charles Burns, and I think it's interesting to hear, like, for me, like I started reading comic books, like 4. You know what I mean? 4 was like when I got my first comic book. So it's interesting to hear somebody that started a little bit later. So besides Charles Burns, or Charles, how much, or what other books, what other creators were you like were your gateway drug into comic books?
Well, I did enjoy comics as a little kid as well. I had all those Garfield books that were like the long landscape ones with the different color covers.
Yeah.
All of those. I was obsessed with Garfield. I loved all the Sunday funny papers. I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to 5th grade, and I can't remember what the cartoonist's name is, but we had like a guest speaker come speak to our class when I was like in like 3rd grade, and he did some cat character, and I was like so blown away that an adult could, make money off of drawings. Like that really impacted me a lot. So yeah, and then in high school, I've always really been into like fantasy and fiction, sci-fi, horror. So in high school, the obvious, like I was really into like R. Crumb comics and like anything like really bizarre you could find. Where I'm from is suburbs of Massachusetts. So, you know, you'd have to go into the city, into Boston, and find like a cool record shop that also had comics. Like there wasn't really, that I knew of, many comic book stores around me. And so of maybe the past decade or so, some really influential people. I love Mike Diana. I know he's not for everybody, but like seeing his comics and I guess just realizing you can do whatever the hell you want, you know, that was very impactful. I love Preacher. Preacher is one of my
Yeah.
favorite graphic novel series. Huge Junji Ito fan. Like my top three people are Charles Burns, Junji Ito, and Al Columbia. Pim and Francie, Biologic Show. I don't know if you're familiar with Al Columbia's work.
Yes, yeah, I know. Man, that's some heavy hitters right there.
I like the really dark stuff, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think my whole reading experience, especially like you know, I would say like over the pandemic and just really diving into a lot of cartoonists that are self-publishing, they're doing their own stuff. I mean, I've amassed so many zines, comic books of all shapes and sizes. You know what I mean? Like stuff like, I mean, I got stuff like this from people, you know, just like people printing it off their printer. I mean, I love it's the punk rockness of self-publishing. You know what I mean? It's just very exciting and it's very cool to be able to discover so many people doing awesome stuff, you know, and to get there. Some people like at the ground floor, you know, like you never know where somebody can take their career. And I think it's really cool. And I was wondering if like I didn't know about Hey Baby. Could you talk a little bit about that project and dipping your toes into the self-publishing world and kind of what that entails?
So when I began doing Hate Baby, it really was like Black Hole was the spark. And I was really going for the high contrast black and white look. Hate Baby is like just pure insanity. It's honestly, it's kind of like a zine comic hybrid because I love doing splash pages so much. And the first couple of issues are almost all, it's like almost the whole thing is like all splash pages. And I have kind of like a very feral writing style. Like I don't always know exactly what I'm doing and it comes together sort of thing. And I'm trying to craft some more normal writing style into my newer work, but the Hate Baby stuff is just like off the rails. It's really intense and really like a lot of violence and very, very bizarre body horror type stuff. So I just love drawing and I love drawing really dark stuff, I guess.
I mean, it's dope. I mean, you mentioned
Oh, thank you.
he's somebody that I got into over the past like couple years too, and like that shit is just insanity. The level of detail and that those images stick in your mind long after you put the book down. You know?
Oh, absolutely. That's why like Junji Ito and all the guys I mentioned, it's like they just like I feel like they like get into your head and they just stay there. And I really think that's an incredible quality to have as an artist.
Yeah, agreed. Past Hey Baby, I mean, you sent me a couple books, sent me Nuns in Space Fighting Crime, and you sent me The Acid Nun. Can you talk a little bit about those projects? I know that you also were in you said Vacuum Decay, Harry Nordlinger's anthology book, which is really dope also. So yeah, just if we could just talk about your current projects and stuff and you know what also, or you talk about that and then I'll ask the next question actually.
Yeah, because I can't, my memory is
I'll forget
really
too,
not
so.
great. Yeah, so Vacuum Decay, I love Harry. Harry is just like such a ball of sunshine. And it's so funny because, you know, he does all horror. So, but he's just everybody loves him. People flock to him. He's just like a very wonderful, sweet, generous, creatively generous person. And he asked me to be in Vacuum Decay and I was in the second issue. I did a piece called The Marble, an 8-pager. And then I did a piece for Vacuum Decay 3, which was called Little Bones Lie, which is actually the, you know, catalyst for Acid Nun. So that 8 pages I did for Vacuum Decay 3 are actually the first 8 pages of Acid Nun, but Acid Nun's in color and that's black and white. I did
Right.
make some slight adjustments for my comic book, but I have to give a big shout out to Harry because like him asking me to do those stories kind of gave me the push I needed to, because I've been wanting to do a graphic novel. I've been wanting to do a longer format book. I have done Demonophobiac was 56 pages. That's the longest thing I've ever done, but it did have a lot of splash pages, So I've wanted to do a graphic novel for a really long time, and there's a lot of fear involved. It's hard. Comics are really hard, and I'm really working on those issues to try and like push through the fear and just go for it. You know what I mean? And like, what do I have to lose? Like, nobody cares. That's fine. I'll have something that I can be proud of at the end of it,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, so the titles says it all, Acid Nun. It's a fucking acid trip just reading the fucking book. By the way, I mean, your hand lettering, which I love. This is hand lettered, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm like,
that's awesome. To me, like, I hate sometimes when you get a book and like the lettering just doesn't fit with the
I know.
Completely takes me out.
Even when you have those like computer generated, like, I don't know. I'm a hand lettering gal. No disrespect to anyone else, but like,
yeah, I'm not trying to disrespect
anybody
either.
Have a book that's not hand lettered, so.
Yeah, so you do it all. You're writing, your color, your lettering, all that stuff.
Yes.
I want to hear the idea behind Acid Nun and kind of, what we can expect from the book. How many issues are you going to do before you drop a graphic novel of it?
Okay. So I was raised Catholic, and I went to Catholic school from kindergarten through 5th grade. And I'm from suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts. Those Puritan values. It's just, I had a very loving upbringing. No disrespect to my family's choices of religion or whatever, but it does kind of instill this like deep guilt and shame into the person. At least that was my experience. And so, dealing with those things, as an adult is interesting. So I am first off a painter. I consider myself a painter first and foremost. I'm a painter, illustrator, and cartoonist. And I've been doing the Acid Nun character in my paintings, my individual gouache paintings, since at least 2015, probably earlier. And so it just kind of was like one of those things where like a pre-existing character I had already created, like it just clicked, like I'm super into cult film, and like nunsploitation movies are like some of my favorite. I just love erotic nun shit so damn much. So yeah, so Acid Nun is really, it's supposed to be, it's fiction, it's not real, but there is some things from my life that I'm drawing upon. And it really is about me in this process of dealing with like some depression, anxiety, just trying to become a better person, trying to, find that peace in your mind. And so it's like a outlandish, lavish, erotic horror, drug-fueled escapade about like discovering yourself. So that's really what it comes down to. And I'm planning as of right now to do 3 issues, and then it will be collected into a book. I'm aiming for about 120 pages or higher because, I wanted to have a spine and all that. I did commission a couple of artists to create a pinup, and I'm paying them because I believe in paying artists for their work. So, because it's going to be printed in the book, And so I already have pieces in by my buddy Mike Centeno, Cancor. I don't know if you know Matt Allison, but he's
I fucking love Matt Allison. He's so dope.
One of my favorite working artists. I asked Alex Graham, Dog Biscuits. Are you familiar with Alex?
I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah, she did this incredible webcomic called Dog Biscuits last year. It got nominated for several awards. It's freaking incredible. I asked Hyena Hell, Halle Buck, and It's 6 people. Oh yeah, and then my buddy Caroline Cash I work with at Quimby's bookstore. Have you been to Quimby's?
No, but I've heard of it, and it looks dope.
It's awesome.
I love going into other shops. Every time I'm in a new city, like that's like one of the first things I do, and my wife hates it. She's like, "Why the
Oh.
go into another shop? They're all it's the same
Well,
thing." I said it's not the same though. They're all different.
the nice thing is, if you go to Wicker Park, you can go to Quimby's and your wife can go to all these different shops. There's like clothing shops, like all different shops. So it's like you could both do what you want.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to check it out when I go there for sure.
Judging on what you said earlier, I think you'd really love it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks dope. I've seen the pictures. So I wanted to ask you, that's kind of what I wanted to get to next. Before we, talk more about your stuff, is you work in the shop. So how long have you worked there, and is that one of the main ways that you get your stuff out there, or do you also sell in different avenues? Like what are the avenues that you get?
So I have been at Quimby's for almost 6 years. I'm actually going to be leaving at the end of July to try and pursue art full time. It's just my time. I'm going to be 40 in the fall, and like I've done customer service for like 25 years, and I'm just really burnt out on it. I mean, especially working through the pandemic, that added an extra layer of energy sucking and stress. I'm lucky that I work at Quimby's, because like if you're gonna work customer service, like in my opinion, it's one of the best customer service jobs you could possibly have, and it's like so deeply inspiring. I mean, you never know who's gonna roll through there, like Chris Ware, Ivan Brunetti, like celebrities come in there. I sold a book to Michael Shannon once, and I was like, play it cool, because I think he's a really cool actor.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love Quimby's. It is such a deeply inspiring place, and so I'm sad to leave, but I'm mostly excited just because I don't want to do customer service anymore. And I want to concentrate on my art career full time. So I do a lot of selling through Quimby's. But I'm a hustler. Like I self-promote. I send my stuff out. I send my stuff free to people to review. Like if you're gonna be a working artist, at least if you're mid-career, early on, I really think, unfortunately, you got to be your own hype man. And so I just work my ass off, and I send stuff out to people, and I think it really pays off, because then it's just, you get the spread goes further. So some of my favorite other shops are Atomic Books in Baltimore, Floating World in Portland.
I love Floating World.
Yeah, it's so great.
It's a dope shop. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I try and find like the Quimby's-ish shop like in every major city I go to, So yeah, I definitely try and just get my stuff out there as much as I can.
Awesome. And Acid Nun's going to be a graphic novel. I know that you said that you can't talk about a publisher that you're working with, but is it going to be distributed like, well, I mean, who knows if Diamond will still be there.
Right.
I work in a shop too, so I'm well aware of everything that's been going on in terms of.
I know. What shop do you work in?
I work at Collector's Paradise in the San Fernando Valley in LA.
Oh, cool.
We have 3 shops. I keep trying to kind of like morph it into like stuff that I want, kind of more of like the indie and self-published stuff. And I did ask my manager, I said, like, let's get more of that stuff, dude. Let's like make a section for it. So he said, yeah, just give me a list of so yeah, I kind of like to did you hear about the Image Grand Design book that a bunch of guys did? I don't know if you.
Yeah. Like Ed Piscor, or is it?
No. It was the Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside Seats group. So it was
okay.
Facebook group. A bunch of cartoonists got together and they made this like, I mean, it's not authorized obviously, but like like comic, And so like they saw how well that did in the shop. And I'm like, dude, we got to do more, like we have to, there's no stores in the Valley that kind of curate stuff like that. Much like you said with Quimby's, like you look for stores like that, like there's none around me. I have to drive like 40 minutes, LA traffic sucks.
Yeah.
So
That would be awesome if you could get some of that stuff in there.
yeah, that's, I mean, that's like one of my goals because I want my own shop.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, who knows when or if that could happen, but if I'm gonna work retail, I better be making the money for myself, not for somebody else. You know, because like you said, like retail can be extra, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But again, though, if you're gonna work retail, comic book shop is probably one of the easier places to work because most people go in there happy. You know.
Yeah, exactly. The customer base, you're already like, like 95% of people are freaking awesome. It's just,
Right.
the bad apples tend to spoil the bunch. And we're still enforcing the mask rule because, we do have a lot of immunocompromised, consigners and customers. We just want to make sure everyone's feeling comfortable. And so now it's at the point since things have been lifting that like, people are starting to be jerks at the door about it. And it's just like, oh my God, just it's a minor inconvenience for a few minutes. Like, can you just
No, who gives a fuck? Really, Yeah, that's annoying. And I work part time in a restaurant too, and people are fucking annoying over there also.
So. Oh, I bet, especially as they get drunker and
yeah, people are just
what they're doing.
Yeah. But so like back to what I want to say. So like the release, how are you going to do it? Are you going to be doing it through like normal distribution channels? Are you going to be doing Kickstarter? What are the goals or what's the plan for the book?
So the only reason I don't want to say the publisher is just because in my experience in life, like you never know when something's going to fall apart,
Right.
Like, I'm a real proof in the pudding type gal. So like once I've signed that contract and like, I will be letting everybody know.
Yeah.
So, and they're awesome. They're actually like one of the top publishers that I wanted to work with. And they have all their shit figured out. And, they have a pretty, it's not Fantagraphics, but they have,
that was what I was going to say.
they have their own, setup. They have distribution. They have their books all over the world. So I'm not too worried about that. That's really what I'm trying to work towards is like, taking the burden off of me more. Like I've been doing everything, I've been doing like 10 jobs for like, a long time now. And I feel like I have enough of a body of work and, I've gotten to a level that I think it would be nice if, I could do the art and somebody else distributing and all that stuff. So, and we're already working very closely together and like, they're helping me figure out how to make the files and which was a huge learning experience for me because, I'm a very, I color in Photoshop, but I do everything else in the physical world by hand. So I don't have a graphic design, background. So she really helped me so much figure out how to do the files. I already sent them like the first third of the book, so that's nice to have that done. They're helping me, like I'm doing all the writing, but I'll send them stuff and they'll give me some edits and so it's really cool to be able to have this support and I think it's going to make it a much better book having an editor, having people to work with, I'm going to collaborate with them on what the cover should look like, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really freaking excited about it. I don't have a specific deadline, but I'm hoping to have everything done by February 2022. Because if I get it to them by March 2022, they can get it out to, Publishers Weekly, all that stuff. And it would drop in like October-ish of 2022. So that's what I'm working towards right now. But I don't want to rush it. It's like, I feel like I work best when it has to be a natural kind of a flow. But I feel pretty confident that that will be the timeline. I'm working on issue 2 right now. I'm hoping to have that done by the end of the summer. So hopefully like August, maybe September release. And then I'll dive into the 3rd issue. And once I finish the 3rd issue, which I'm imagining will be like, I don't know, maybe like holiday season, December, Yeah, and it's going to be accompanied by, I'm going to write a personal essay. I have the pinups by those amazing artists. And then I might do, like, you know, in Preacher, how they have the amazing paintings, the Glenn Fabry paintings that break up the Steve Dillon artwork. I'm
Yes.
thinking about doing like 6 of those, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. I'm very excited, man. I'm very happy for you too.
you.
That's awesome. Like I know that I just recently discovered your stuff, but I really dug it. I'm really excited to see what you got. I definitely want to try to pick up some of your older stuff if that's still in print because
Well,
it's
thank you so much.
oh,
So
yeah.
much of my zines have completely gone out of print, and I was reprinting them forever, and then like once you're like, holy shit, I have so many. Like I didn't even realize you could let things go out of print.
Yeah.
And at some point, I was like, I just need to let these go out of print.
Well, what do you still have in print? Real quick.
I just have, I only have like 2 or 3 left of Nuns in Space, Fighting Crime. You had asked me about that earlier. That was a collaboration I did with this guy, Mark Peters.
Right.
He's a hilarious writer, really, really friendly, nice guy. And I don't normally illustrate other people's comic stories just because that's not how I normally work. But I do commission illustrations, but usually it's more like for a band or a t-shirt or, you know what I mean? Just because comics are so involved, like I have to have that spark of passion, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
He did the thing that I think is amazing when you hire someone where he really played to my strengths. He wrote a story like specifically for me to draw, and it really worked out well. He was super easy to work with, really fun. And I really liked the end product. I thought it came out great. So I have just a handful of those. There might be some left at Quimby's, I don't know. I have this collection of some satanic paintings called Way Down Below, but I only have like 3 or 4 of those left. And then I think just Mutations #1, which is like a collection of my, over the pandemic in 2020, I did like, I think I did over 50 paintings last year.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and they it was this Mutations series. It was called Mutations. Like I was creating these like faces layered on top of each other with all these eyes, very kind of abstract but figurative at the same time. And so that's a little zine collected those paintings. And then Acid Nun, that's all I have left right now.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'll hit you up for those other 2 for sure.
Oh, killer.
So besides Acid Nun, do you have anything else in the works? Any other like ideas that you have percolating that you kind of want to, that you'll get to maybe after Acid Nun, or that you're doing like in between?
Well, for comics, it's really the only thing I can have my eyes and mind and heart on right now. In terms of other work, because like I said earlier, like I really do consider myself a painter first. You know, painter, cartoonist, illustrator. I am again, I know I hate being so like weird and secretive. I just like, I don't like announcing things to like I know for sure, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because I've you know, I've learned when I was younger, you know, you like are like, hey, I'm doing this thing, and then they're like, oh, actually, we're canceling that thing. And then you just kind of like, you know, you're just like sitting there like, oh, I feel like an idiot now. But I'm really excited. I'm supposed to be in a group show. Actually, I believe it's the galleries in LA in September. And that's going to be like my first like real deal, like major gallery thing I'm going to be involved with. So I'm working on 4 paintings for that. I already finished one. But the guy that asked me to be in the show, he just wants some to, you know, choose from for the exhibition. So I will be working on those this summer. I already finished one, and I'm going to do 3 more. And they're going to be 16 by 16 paintings. And so I'm working on that. I have a couple commissions lined up already. A couple more people have hit me up, and I don't know. I gotta see. So it's hard to juggle, you know. I've seen some artists that like have this like incredible schedule, and they're like so good at sticking to it, and I'm not there yet. And I really want to be there. So hopefully I can get to the point where I'm like, commissions Monday, you know, paintings Tuesday, Acid Nun Wednesday, you know, we'll see. But yeah, I have quite a full plate. And so when I leave Quimby's, that'll be really nice because then I'll have the extra time, extra energy. So I'm really looking forward to all of it. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, before I let you go, I always like to, kind of partially for selfish reasons, but recommendations. What are you currently reading or cartoonists are you currently digging that?
Great question. So obviously all the people I asked for pinups are some of my faves. They're all really incredible. I'm trying to think of what I've picked up recently. I just read Barry Windsor Smith's Monsters. Did you read that?
Yeah, it was.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
Heart out and just like, Jesus Moses, that book kind of fucked me up. I feel like if you've had any sort of like trauma in your life, or like, I was not abused as a child, but like if anybody had any of that stuff going on, reading that book would be really, really hard.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I have like memory recall issues, so it's like hard for me like on the spot to remember. That's one of the more recent books I read that like it really messed me up. I just picked up Nathan Cowdery's new book, Crash Site. I haven't read it yet. I got Junji Ito's new book, Love Sickness. Again, it's hard for me to always get to the reading as quickly as I'd like because I just draw and paint so much, Mm-hmm. I picked up Red Room. I haven't had a chance to peruse it yet. Ooh, I just got the new Bleeding Skull book. Oh my God. So it's not comics, but if you like, cult movies and stuff.
That's Fantagraphics, right?
Fantagraphics.
Yeah, I saw that on their site yesterday when I was looking on there.
Yeah, I've begun. This is one of those great books because like you don't have to read it all in one sitting. You can pick any spot. You can read a review for this film, that film. So I've been reading that actually more than anything lately. But yeah.
All right, cool. Awesome. Thank you for the recs. Thanks for talking your work, talking comic books. I'm very excited for everything that you got in the works. But if you could, real quick, before we get out here, just share with everybody where we can find you online, where we can find your work, pick up the books, and I'm going to drop those links down below.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so CorinneHalbert.com, which is CorinneHalbert.com, basically has a link to everything. I have an Instagram. I'm just Corinne Halbert on there. I have a Twitter. I'm just Corinne Halbert on there. My Big Cartel store is a link in my website, which is also just Corinne Halbert .Big Cartel, whatever. And that's where I sell like a lot of my original paintings, all my comics, some merch. I have like stickers and pins and stuff. So that's where you'll pretty much find all my stuff. I post most frequently on Instagram. So like if you want to know what I'm up to, that would be the social media app to check. I use Twitter, but I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. I literally
toxic space. So like, I don't know. I don't like to stay in there too long,
Yeah, I literally only have it so that I can like repost my stuff. That's
exactly.
I go, I share the link, and then I get the fuck out,
Yeah, it's good for your brain to get out of there.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much. And
of course, thank you.
Yeah, I definitely would love to do this with you again sometime. Once you drop that information about the publisher.
Absolutely.
Talk again, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Have a good day.